Okay, so I'm recording.
Hey, YouTubers!
I wonder how long it'll be before um people actually start responding, if ever.
Who knows?
Are you gonna join us in Roll 20, Sky? Okay. Okay. Last week you guys landed on the beach, made your way north on this little island. Um, um, there's about a the geography of the island is basically there's like a 15-20 foot hill up from the island or from the beach, and then um, it cuts off into basically a sheer cliff. And down below, um, you can see like the tops of trees and some fog. You guys went north around the north side of the island. Um, you this geography stayed the same about pretty much the entire way. Um, at one point, Sky did use his ability to detect humanoids, and he detected four of them down below. Um, you sent, well, he detected two groups of two. You guys sent Rogar to scout to see what was going on down there, and he did see the two groups, and then he decided to try to steal their map.
I don't
And
know if uh, sending him was the right analogy there.
you guys didn't send him; he just decided to go. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty sure that's what happened.
Okay.
Pretty sure it was an Agrius thing.
Um, he suggested he go out scout because he can fly, and then he decided to try and steal the map from them as a bat.
And it backfired. He got squashed against a tree, turned back into humanoid form, and immediately tied up and restrained.
Exactly.
At which point, Sky realized that, oh, there was a fifth humanoid down there all of a sudden, and they were all converged on one place. You guys went down there, um, using various abilities such as Sky's Mount, Lazum's Levitate, and Sky's Levitate.
Yeah.
Um, you guys then met up with the party. Lazum sneaking around behind them. You found an elf, a human, and two dwarves. Iriana decided to talk to him, and found out that the elf and the human were basically researchers from Waterdeep, and the two dwarves were security. Um, while you're talking to them, um, Lazum sent Damba rushing through the group distracting them as he ran up and quietly freed Rogar. And pretty much, pretty much sure that's it. I think that's where we ended it. Am I wrong?
I believe that's right.
So, Zamba has just run through the party. Rogar has been freed by Lazem sneaking up behind him and cutting him loose. And the elf, human, and dwarves just finished freaking out due to Damba's actions. What are you guys doing?
I will try to make sure that all of the other people, the dwarves and humans, are calm. And
Oh no, they're kind of freaking out, staring
yeah,
at
I just
Damba,
like
and
try and make sure they don't get aggressive, I guess.
they don't seem to be aggressive. The dwarves are standing kind of in defensive postures, and the other two are just kind of sitting on their butts, where they fell, and just kind of staring at Damba.
Uh, I'll say to them that this is our last companion. Looks like he has freed our other companion, but I'd still be happy to show you where on the map, or to try and orient you guys on the map that you have.
Okay, the elf kind of regains her composure, I guess. First, kind of looks around and stands up, wipes the as best she can. She kind of wipes the mud off her pants. Still keeping her eye on Damba, but she kind of, and you can still see that she's a little bit shaken, but just kind of wipes some mud off her pants and then makes a show of putting the rapier away. She does it very slowly, just to make sure Damba doesn't attack while she's doing it. Not try not to make any sudden moves. And she kind of approaches you, Iriana, kind of walking off to around and circling around to approach you, so that she keeps you between her and the wolf. And the entire time, with her eyes still on the wolf, she slowly hands the map to you, and then takes like another 5 steps back.
I will turn and stand so that my back is towards Damba and stay between her and Damba, and then kind of take the map and take a look at it.
Okay. It's a the map is pretty much a map of this island. Um, there are 2 spots on the island that are marked.
Were those little black lines that were on the map before something that you had drawn accidentally? Because they seem gone now.
I'm not sure what they were. I deleted them.
There's one like right here and one like there or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they were, but I deleted them.
They're just like squares or lines or something that weren't supposed to be there.
I guess. I didn't put them there.
Sorry, you said there were 2 things marked on the map?
Can you guys see those circles?
Yep.
Might help if you zoom in 250%. Zoom in all the way. That way you're just seeing the island. At least that's what I have anyway. Laser, can you see the circles?
Yes.
Okay. Those 2 parts are, those 2 locations are marked. And, she kind of leans in and shows you on the map where she thinks they are. Which is, that's where she says they are, and this is where the human says they are.
Right. I'll just kind of look at the map and orient myself, and then kind of point up to, here where we are. We're just on the ridge, and just to the north of us was the eastern edge of this island here, so we'd be just about here.
Okay. The elf kind of looks at you, and then looks at the map, and then back up at the... Tries to look up at the cliffs, which you guys can't see through the fog and the canopy. You can just kind of see this pale light through the fog. And then she looks back at the map. She says, "Okay." And the human just kind of looks at you, looks at the map, and then looks up. And he didn't believe you. He still insists they're in his location. The location he was so sure of.
I'll turn and look at the sky and it's kind of motion toward the human and sort of be like, you could, or, yeah,
Would you like
can
a
you
ride?
show?
That's right.
Offer
You,
my
you have
offer my hand.
you have the Pegasus out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember now. And you are currently in High Elven form,
Uh,
or
Wood Elf, I think.
Wood Elf?
Yeah, I don't think I do High Elf. Unless I have said I did High Elf. And I guess I would be in that, but I don't know.
Wood Elf's fine. I was just making sure it was non-drow.
Correct, yes.
Okay. Kind of hesitates a moment and then gives you his hand and kind of swings up on the unicorn behind you and holds tight to your shoulders.
I will command the unicorn to fly upwards. Kind of give a fly up above the trees to the point where you can see kind of the shape of the island.
Okay. Unicorn kind of takes a lazy route to climb, and at one point you kind of have to break through the canopy, and you're kind of worried about getting brushed off for a moment or two by the branches, but you get through. And when you get up above the fog and the canopy, the human just kind of gasps, because up here it really is a beautiful sight. It looks almost primordial because you have this island that's just like covered in fog. It's actually lower than the water level. And it's a very unusual sight. But he does look around and kind of orients himself. He says, all he says is, "Oh, okay."
I will head back down.
Okay. And you come in and land, and he kind of, with his shoulders drooping, he kind of slides off the back and just kind of leans back against the tree with the doors.
Uh, I'll keep looking at the map and ask what the two marked locations are.
Those are the locations where we're supposed to be able to find some ruins, at least according to the research that we've done.
What types of ruins would there be?
The one to the southwest is supposed to be a village that was destroyed through natural disaster. And the one to the northeast is supposed to be sorry about that. Coughing fits kind of come out of nowhere. Um, The ruins to the northeast are supposed to be the ruins of the remains of a ship that somehow was brought in here. We're not sure if it was shipwrecked and ended up floating into here, or if it was lowered into this chasm by tools, or we're not sure how it got in here. We just know that it's supposed to be a ship that is stranded here. The remains of a ship, rather. It's quite old.
And you're just here to examine them and figure out what they are.
Yes, examine them, figure out anything we can about their history. And especially see if we can figure out how that ship was brought in here.
And what else? What do you know about this island?
Uh, we understand there's supposed to be some undead on the island. Nothing terribly dangerous as far as information we've discovered. Which is why we hired the dwarves over there.
And
Heard anything about a dragon lair on the island?
Her eyes grow really very wide and wide with concern. She says, "Dragon?"
When we got to land, I sensed a dragon to the southwest. Not sure what kind or anything. Just could tell that it was a dragon of some sort.
She kind of looks up back over her shoulder in that direction, and you can see it. She visibly shivers, and one of the dwarves, the one with the axe, kind of gets a great big grin on his face, and he spits in his hands and picks up his axe and swings it, gives it a test swing in both hands as he kind of chuckles. And she says, "No, I wasn't aware of any dragons on the island." "You're sure you saw a dragon?"
Didn't see one. Just sensed one.
Where did you guys make land?
Well, if we are where you say we are, um, we probably made land pretty close to where you did. It's kind of on the north side of the island, a little west of a smaller island.
So they mean like just up here somewhere. All right. Yeah.
Hey, I got the
Yeah.
west right this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere up in there.
Uh,
I'm trying to get it muted when I cough, guys, and I apologize if I miss one.
how long have you guys been here on the island now?
Um, we landed, made landfall about, um, 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Did a little bit of cursory exploration on the beaches. Set up camp, and then this morning we made our way down here, and we've been um, trying to find our way since.
All right. Well, we'd be happy to head to whichever of the two places you were heading to first, if you would like the company.
You want to join us?
We are here to see what's on the island, so may as well have the map with us. And it seems like you guys already have a couple points of interest created or made up, decided upon.
Okay. Um, so where would you guys like to go first? And kind of looks between the human, her human party member, and you guys.
I'll shrug and say, which one were you guys trying to get to?
Well, we were going to go to whichever one we were closest to, but it looks like we're not really closer to either one. Um, I guess if you don't have any preference, then maybe we should head to the village first.
That works. And I will head that way. Turn around and start walking back that way. Walk toward the dragon.
I
Wait, do you say that out loud, Ariana?
No.
Okay.
This guy said which direction the dragon was. He said to the southeast.
Southwest, sorry.
Or southwest, sorry.
Southwest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, as you start to form up a party and move toward the southwest, I whistle for Damba, and he comes running right away. Then I rough up his fur and kind of just scratches his ears for a minute. Then I say, "Good fella," and I put the saddle on his back and hop up on the back and get in line with you guys. We're ready to go.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that we'll get some strange looks from our newfound friends.
Yes, they are watching you very closely, and the wolf.
I'll try to assure them and say, don't worry, he is friendly to our friend. And I'll ask if, as we start heading down that way, um, that we heard there was an old temple here on the island. Do you know anything about that?
Can't say that we've heard about any temple on the island. There might be a couple shrines in the village. Is it possible that what you're look? Is it possible that's what you're looking for?
It might be, yeah. I'm sure if we see the shrines, we can figure out if it's what we're looking for.
Well, then hopefully we both find what we're looking for. And she
Oh
starts.
yeah.
She starts just walking, and then she kind of hesitates a few steps and lets you get in front of her. Kind of slows down and then lets you take the lead because she suddenly remembers there's dragons.
I will lead the way.
Okay. And as you guys are walking, she suddenly speaks up and says, "Oh, by the way, we never introduced ourselves. My name's Bryn. My human companion here is Aiden. Our security over there is Biddle and Bean."
Biddle and Bean.
Don't ask, it just came to me.
I will shake her hand and say that I am Iriona, and my companions are Sky, Layson, and Rogar.
It's nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you guys too.
Don't leave out our furry companion.
And, yeah, this is Damba.
If we're going that route, you may as well introduce Azrael too.
Maybe not quite yet.
You don't want to scare them. I mean, they're already leery of Damba.
I just figured he's certainly large enough that they couldn't miss him. So they might want to have a name to give him.
Oh yeah, they definitely are keeping an eye on the wolf.
Then I'll keep heading out that way. Is it everywhere? Like as we're walking, is it all just kind of wooded in here and foggy everywhere?
Yes, the fog isn't terribly thick down at ground level. Well, what you guys would consider ground level. It's actually below sea level, but there's a bit of fog down there, but the majority of the fog is just like a layer between up near the canopy that basically blocks the sunlight from coming down here. So it's basically dusk at this point, as far as the amount of light that's coming through.
Wait,
But it is largely woods, essentially a forest that you guys are walking through.
yeah.
Just like, I don't know, 20, 25 feet above your
How
head.
high is the ridge line?
The ridge line is about 50 feet up or so. And about 25 feet up or so, you guys just have this, like, white ceiling that looks like cotton. Or it's more of a gray ceiling.
And The trees are taller than that.
Yeah, the trees are just kind of just above the the fog, so they're still getting sun to the leaves and stuff.
Yeah. I'll ask if this fog has been here the whole time you guys have been here.
Yes, it is one of the strange climate phenomenons of the island.
There's the constant fog over it.
Yes, about the only time it dissipates is when the island is in the middle of a storm.
Like a
Like a
big
tropical
storm on
storm.
the water.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
tropical storm or whatever. At which point you probably don't want to be on the island anyway.
Probably not. Uh, what what drew you guys all the way from Waterdeep to explore this island, or whichever city it was they said they were from?
Waterdeep. I grew up hearing stories of this island from my grandfather, who um, was actually shipwrecked here for about 4 years. And he would tell me all these stories about the island and all the strange things he saw, and I've wanted to come here and explore and explain some of the strange things that he saw since I was a little kid.
What sorts of strange things did he see?
Well, the island, or the fog for one, um, the unusual ship in the um, northeast. Um, he, as long as he was here, he never could figure out how that ship ended up inside the island. I mean, he said it was perfectly intact at the time that he saw it, and he couldn't see any indication that it fell in here or crashed or he didn't see any mechanisms to lower it into here. So he's not sure how it got in here.
Yeah, that is very interesting.
And he lived a good portion of that time in the destroyed village, so there's a good chance we'll see some of the some signs of his time there. Um, and there were a few other unusual phenomenon like um, the the undead that he saw on occasion, just wandering around. He never could figure out why there was undead here, and so sporadically. I mean, if there's a group of undead that is on the island, you wouldn't think that it would be so intermittent, seeing them.
Yeah,
So he was certain that the undead that he was seeing was coming was showing up over time, not already here, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But he never could figure out where they were coming from.
Let's see.
When there is a storm outside the island, does the water surge over the top of the ridge?
It can.
Could that be the way the ship got here?
It's possible, but you would think if it had fallen, if the water was, the seas were harsh enough to push it up over the island, and then fall the 50 to 70 feet into this chasm, that it would be a little more damaged, don't you think?
Well, unless the storm was so violent that it actually filled most of the internal area of the island. So the ship just went over the ridge and was then caught inside and remained here as the water receded.
She thinks about that for a few minutes, then pulls out a notebook and starts scribbling.
The next question would be if there was enough water to fill this entire inlet, where did it go? How did it dissipate?
She kind of points at you with the back of her little quill, says, "That's a good question." And she goes back to her notebook and starts scribbling some more.
I'll just kind of beckon the dwarven soldiers, I guess they are, bodyguards, kind of beckon them up toward me and just ask, the boat that you guys took, did you guys just sail the four of you in it?
One of them speaks up and says, "No, the elven lass hired a ship to drop us off here, and we were supposed to signal the ship to call it back when we're ready to leave."
How are you gonna signal the ship, or they didn't? The elven lass didn't tell you that?
Didn't share that with us.
Yeah. So they dropped you off, and then you supposed to be signaled to get you guys home again.
Yes.
And well, you guys being here so far, are we the first things that you've seen?
Who are you asking that of?
The dwarf.
Okay.
The ones who might be watching for things.
Gotcha. Other than a few animals, yeah.
What sorts of animals are here?
We've seen mostly birds. A couple of axbeak. We did see a large hunting cat at one point, but it didn't seem interested in us.
I'll nod my head and ask them for their information. And then I'll turn back and keep just kind of leading us, roughly following. I guess how far can we see in here?
Um, I don't know. Visibility's not too much trouble out to like 40 or 50 feet. Anything beyond that, there's a good chance it could be blocked by trees.
Right. And when we found them, they were kind of like 50 feet south of the embankment.
Something like that.
All right. I'll just kind of keep following that to go around.
While you guys are walking, one of the dwarves will speak up and say, "You have kind of an eclectic party. Is there something specific you're looking for on this island, or are you expecting trouble?"
We have a friend who says there might be a reason that there are some undead on this island. But he wasn't able to really give us much more information than that. I'll say and try not to let the elf and human over here.
So your friend sent you here for just because there might be a reason for the undead? I mean, are you here to stop the undead that are here, or?
That's the idea, yeah.
Okay.
Figure out why they are here and put a stop to them.
Well, if we're going to be dealing with large amounts of undead, I mean, I was led to believe we might see a few skeletons, maybe a zombie or two. If anything more than that, I'm I'll be happy for your help.
Yeah, we have, or we're not sure if there are more than that, but doesn't hurt to check it out, and we're well enough equipped to handle a few undead.
He kind of glances at your shield and your spear and he says, I'm sure you'll do fine. And Iriana, you're at the head of this group, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a survival check. Okay, you spend the... About what time was it when you guys met these folks? Do you guys remember?
I think it's getting into the afternoon.
Okay. You guys continue traveling west, trying to follow around, kind of a south-like circle, trying to make your way towards the village. But before too long, the sun starts to disappear, and you find yourself walking in almost near dark, or almost near blackout conditions. There's almost no light at all, and it's just, you're not gonna make it very far in this. So, at least not very easily. So do you guys want to camp, or you want to try to keep going? Find some way to light your environment up.
I'll look at the human and the elf and see if they're looking like they're ready to camp. And if they are, then I'll suggest that we stop until it gets a bit lighter in the morning. You know, the slightly lighter that it gets.
Okay. Yeah, they're looking pretty ragged. They've had a rough day.
There they have.
Yeah, they had a bat that turned into a dragon born on him, and a wolf that scared the crap out of him, and some other people that just walked out of the woods and scared the crap out of him, and then they heard about it.
They were very scared all day.
Yeah. Then they're marching towards the dragon, and yeah. Okay.
I'll
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'll ask Sky if he can see if there's any wildlife to hunt around as we set up the camp.
That I shall do. It out.
Okay, give me a second here. Okay. Sky, you just gonna go hunting or?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a survival check. Okay. You kind of make your way into the woods. Heading off kind of a northeasterly direction. And it takes you a little while because you're not seeing the normal tracks that you expect to see in a forested situation like this, or a forested environment like this. Normally you'd see like rabbit and and deer and all all sorts of forest critters. But you're not seeing any of those normal tracks that you're used to. When you do finally see one, first of all, the track's a lot larger than you anticipated. And well, first of all, do you want to continue following these tracks larger than you expect?
Sure.
Okay. As you follow these tracks, after you've been out here hunting for maybe an hour and a half, you come to this clearing. And in the middle of this clearing, you see two very large birds. About the size of Damba, maybe a little bit larger. They don't seem to have any wings, or if they do, they're way too small to be used for flight. They basically look like giant chickens with a flat-edged part to their beak that looks an awful like the head of an axe.
Do I recognize the axe beaks?
I don't know. Have you ever seen an axe beak?
I have no idea.
Give me a history check. You've heard of them. You've seen pictures in books. You've probably never actually seen one. So you know what it is, but you've probably not seen one.
And I probably don't know whether this is a stalwart enemy versus an elk that just falls down.
Mm, give me a medicine check. No clue.
Alright. We'll shoot one.
Okay, there is... The larger one is mostly blue with some green feathers. And the smaller one, which, it's not drastically smaller. It's maybe 2 inches smaller. Has kind of a purplish looking feathers with some light, or I'm sorry, yellow mixed in.
We'll go with that. Go with the purple one.
Okay, give me a shot.
Oh, purple feathers sound great.
Something tells me Sky's gonna start having arrows with purple, whatever the feathers are on an arrow called, fletching. Okay, definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage. Okay, the axe beak kind of stumbles, falls to the ground, and starts to stand back up. And it reaches back and grabs the arrow with its beak and pulls it out. And then looks at you. Both of them look at you. And the one that you hit is kind of limping, but it is limping towards you. And the other one is charging towards you to attack. Or, well, it's charging towards you. I guess you don't really know if it's going to attack. What do you want to do?
I will shoot at the other one.
The one that's charging?
Yep.
Okay, give me another attack. So you're taking a -5 penalty to your attack roll. Okay, that hits. So it's actually a 26, is that right?
Right.
Okay, you hit it right where the neck connects to the body. And your bolt just completely sinks inside it. And it takes another couple of steps before it just drops to the ground and skids about 5 feet. And the other one is still limping towards you.
And I will take a third attack at it then.
Okay, give me another attack roll.
Normal.
That hits. Okay, this time the bolt hits and it also goes down with a kind of a loud chirping screech.
We'll attempt to tie them up to somehow, I don't know, tie them up to the unicorn and walk them back to the campsite.
Okay, wouldn't be terribly difficult to lash them to the back of the unicorn, as long as you're not trying to fly with it.
No.
Okay. In your mind, you can sense the unicorn's displeasure at having to carry the smelly birds and the worry about getting blood on its beautiful white pelt or coat or whatever you want to call it.
In my mind, back to it. I will apologize, but we need to eat.
And you do get the sense that it understands that, but there's still that underlying current
Ickiness.
of, yeah. You know, just because it's got to be done doesn't mean I gotta like it, kind of a thing. Okay, so the rest of you watch as Skygums comes back into camp, walking next to the unicorn with these two giant, very colorful birds strapped to it.
Well, I was only trying to get one. Figured one would feed us all, but the other one didn't like that very well, so we got two.
Perfect.
Bean kind of claps his hands together and rubs them, and he says, "Haha, let's eat."
I will start trying to cut up the purple and yellow one so that I can salvage the purple feathers.
Okie doke. Yeah, you get a whole lot of purple feathers. Unless you go crazy, I'm gonna say you probably have enough purple feathers to last you until we're done with the campaign.
Okay.
Again, unless you go crazy.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to use them for, but
I don't know. But you also have a few yellow, a few green, and a bunch of blue. So, if you want to keep them.
others can keep those if they want, but I just
Gotcha.
want the purple ones.
Figured as much.
I cut a couple of branches off of a tree right close. Bring back, stick two branches into the earth on either side of our fire, and then lay a third branch across the top of those two, where I cut away the rest of the smaller branches, making a couple of sticks with a Y top. And after doing that, we start to prepare the birds for roasting. And once we got the first one prepared, we skewer it with the top branch and then hang it over the fire and give it an occasional turn. And it starts to heat up and then drip melted fat into the fire, which helps to heat it some more. And we got the basis of dinner started. I looked around pretty close to our camp area, hoping to find some roots or something to go with it.
Give me a survival check.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you're not finding a whole lot.
Yeah. And part of it may be due to the fact that I'm not that good at survival. And another might be that because we're in a place that's been isolated for a long time, the variety of roots and vegetables here are different than what we would see in the rest of the mainland.
Both could be options or reasons.
My excuse, and I'll stick to it. Well, the vegetables would have been nice, as long as this bird tastes similar to other chickens, turkeys, and so forth, and we'll have enough meat for dinner, and probably enough to pack and carry with us.
Pretty good chance.
Okay, as the first bird starts to brown pretty well, I cut a slab off one side of it, the slab of the meat, and I take that and put it in a dish and then cut it into smaller strips. And I offer it for anybody who'd like to try it. But also, I thought maybe it'd be time to patch up the gap between Damba and the rest of this new party. And so I take one piece of the meat, and I call Damba over. I say, sit. And he sits and seems very interested in what I'm doing. So I hold out the bird meat to him, and he sniffs at it. And no, not yet. And he sniffs at it some more. And I say, all right, Damba. And he grabs it and chews on it, and he likes it. So it's probably going to be edible, if not really tasty. And then I turn to the elf and the human, and I say, I know you're fearful of Damba, but he's just a big puppy dog. If you want to try and feed him to get on better terms with him, certainly take a strip of this meat and offer it to him. But offer it with your thumb and finger holding on to a little bit of the piece. Don't try and do it by holding it in your open hand or by trying to throw it at him. And he'll sniff around, but that's all he'll do. He might take the piece, but he probably will wait until you tell him he can take it. He's pretty well trained. And so, do we have any takers?
Oops, sorry, I had it muted. The elf respectfully declines, but the human and the two dwarves stand up and start to feed strips of chicken, or strips of the bird, to Damba. And they're really getting into it eventually. And, of course, Damba's not going to turn down the food. So, Damba gets nice and fat and happy tonight on Axbeak meat.
Okay, well, looks like Damba has 3 new friends at least. So,
And the elf, she doesn't get any closer to Damba, but she doesn't seem to quite as fearful of him.
that's probably a good thing.
I asked the elf. Said that your father was stranded here a long time ago?
Grandfather.
Grandfather. Did he happen to mention the island by name? We've never heard of a name for this island. Just that it was here.
Yeah, it's... What was it, Bo? It was, what, Isle of Priya Pearl or something like that?
I don't remember.
It's on the map you guys showed the other day. I guess it was like 3 weeks ago or something like that. For some reason, I decided to erase it when I made this map. I don't
There we go.
remember why.
Island of Presper. It's not on that. Because you just took the super high res Sword Coast map. I take it. That's what it looks like. And it doesn't have the name on there.
Oh, okay.
But it's the Isle of Presper.
Alright, I updated my Google Sheets. That's what I was looking for.
Okay, now that we've all had a chance to get something to eat, I remove the cooked bird and lay it on a couple of rocks covered with leaves. And I take the other bird, which is now ready to cook too, and spear it through with the spit and get it over the fire and start cooking. That way, when we're done with this, we'll have meat to carry with us. That's smoked, cooked pretty well through. And if we, excuse me, if we wrap it in leaves, it should stay fairly moist. Give us something to eat for a few days if we don't have any other source of meals.
Give me another survival check, Lazem. Okay. The meat is juicy. It seems to be cooked thoroughly. It's a little bland as there aren't any spices or herbs or anything on it. But as far as natural flavors are concerned, it's pretty good.
Okay, I look around and see if I can find any small plants that similar to a sunflower, but I don't find any. So at least temporarily, we aren't going to have any salt or anything like that. But
Are you voicing this?
yes,
Guy will get out his spices and give you a couple pinches of salt.
well, I forgot that you were carrying all of that. Yes, thank you. And
Where's the water? Did you take all the water?
there was a gallon. Is that all there was?
It was.
There are smaller bottles in the fridge out in the garage. Oh, pardon me. I sprinkled the salt over the now cooking bird and opened the leaves and sprinkled some onto the cooked one as well. So it won't be great, but it'll give it a little more flavor. By the way, Sky, thanks for the salt.
Definitely. Nice having a night off where I don't have to cook.
Well, I can do the basics, but I'm nowhere near as skilled as you are. And I really don't want to take the time to learn.
He says around a mouthful of back speak.
If it's cooked, it's good enough for me. It's cooked and it's meat, I guess, specifically.
AFK.
Let's go and take a quick break. Snacks, drinks, stretch, whatever you guys need to do.
Sounds good.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Me too.
I think we're all back then.
Near as I can tell.
Sorry about that. Well, I guess you eat dinner. Um, you guys want to do anything with professions or anything before bed?
Um, no, not really.
Not really either, but I get over next to Damba and I pull out my mandolin and sit back against him like a big pillow. I play. It kind of lightens the mood. Maybe our guests won't be quite so edgy. It'd be nice if everybody would calm down and get a good night's sleep.
It doesn't take long before Damba is snoring in tune to your mandolin.
Oh, he even snores in tune. Hey, great. It's probably because all that axe meat.
I guess in sync would be more appropriate.
Okay, well, after I've played for a while, I lay the mandolin aside and pull up my blanket and settle in for the night.
I'll get. I'll take the first watch unless someone else is going to before getting settled in.
I'll take the last watch.
I guess I'll take one of the mid watches. Just whenever somebody, shake me, let me know.
Alright. I will get set up for the first watch then.
Okay, go and give me a perception check.
What do I perceive? We've been fairly quiet here as we've been on the island.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Has it been fairly quiet, or has it been like a lot of animals moving around and stuff? Or does the fog kind of muffle it all?
The fog does muffle it a bit. Um, you have noticed that there seem to be a lot of birds, but not a whole lot moving around on the ground itself.
Right. And does that kind of continue into the night?
For the most part. Um, sorry. Um, For the most part, the your watch is pretty quiet. Not a whole lot of creatures in the underbrush. Like pretty much nothing crawling around on the ground. Most of the noise you hear is like maybe an owl hooting or something. Some sort of flying creature moving around. Um, at one point, Iriana, um, you do hear some shuffling in the bushes off to the west side of camp.
Just some shuffling in the bushes. I'll go try and see if I can see what it is.
Okay, you're gonna try to go to see what it is? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it sounds pretty close.
Yeah, it's within about 40 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, you make your way that direction, and, after about 40 feet, you see, there's a humanoid form, and it seems to be trying to walk towards your camp. And it's kind of got pieces of its skin kind of sloughing off and falling to the ground. And it's caught on this very large branch that seems to have it like impaled. But you kind of come around and see it as it's trying to walk towards the camp. And after a few moments, it kind of slowly turns towards you and then turns to start walking towards you, pulling itself off the tree.
Does it look like an undead of some sort?
Definitely. Some sort of zombie, maybe. Skeleton with a little bit of extra flesh still attached, maybe.
Uh, I'll just walk over to it. I'll walk over toward it and see if I can hit it with my lance before it can get any closer.
Okay, give me an attack roll. Definitely hits. Okay, you hit it. How do you hit it? Tell us how you kill this thing.
I will just kind of start walking up towards it, and pull out my spear and just kind of stab it straight through the chest.
Okay. As you stab at it, um, the uh, majority of the top portion of the skeleton kind of comes out the back of the flesh, and the rest of the flesh just kind of drops right where it is. Just kind of, some of it kind of sliding down the sphere to cover your hand, and the skeleton just kind of falls apart and just kind of crumbles. It's kind of It's a mess, but it's dead, as far as you can tell.
Okay.
Dead again.
Yeah. I'll kind of head back to where I was taking a watch and spend a bit of time cleaning off my spear.
Okay. Yeah, that was it. Graveyard dead. It's kind of trying to remember what that term was, Sky. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. You head back to camp, and the rest of your watch is uneventful.
Alright. Then I will wake up Blazer.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll wake up, stretch a bit, and then get up and listen for Ariana to tell me what's going on.
I'll just say that it's been a fairly quiet night so far. But just make sure nothing gets close here. Who knows what could be on the island?
So she doesn't tell me about the encounter with an undead?
No, it was a little ways away, and probably no one will see it.
All right, I'll stop, stir up the fire, add another piece or two just to make sure that we have a good fire for the morning. And I'll go ahead and wander around the perimeter and see if I see anything. And just keep moving and roaming. Try and make sure that nothing sneaks up on us.
Okay. Okay. Lazem, there are two things you notice during your watch. One, every time the breeze blows, you get the whiff of something foul. Don't know what it is, but boy, does it stink.
From which direction?
Well, at the moment, the breeze is kind of coming from west-northwest. But man, does it stink.
Okay.
Second one is last night. You remember putting your mandolin down, kind of putting it off to the side. This morning, you have no idea where it is. Or at the moment, when you look up your watch, you have no idea where it is.
Well, that's not good.
What did he misplace? Sorry.
His mandolin.
You know, I laid it down right next to my bed. There's not really misplaced, but that doesn't help now.
Well, you described just putting it off to the side, and that's what you did. And it's not there now. That's all.
As I patrol the perimeter, I try and keep an eye out for any indications of some creature wandering close to camp, and any tracks that might tell me that someone or something has been here.
The only tracks you see leaving or entering the camp belong to people in the camp or Damba. Anything else you want to do?
No, just keep patrolling and looking out for anything moving or suspicious.
Okay. Um, like I said, you don't find any. Okay.
Don't mind me just being weird.
You don't find any tracks that don't belong to either people in the camp or Damba, so nothing suspicious there. Um, Seems like the closer you get to the fire, the less you have to deal with that awful smell coming from the west. So that's nice. Um, Other than that, um, your watch is pretty uneventful. Towards the end of your watch, you do notice that Namba is actually not sleeping. He is laying there with his head on his paws, just watching you.
I think it's good that he's awake. It helps to have another set of eyes watching.
Okay, your watch comes to an end. Nothing particularly exciting happened. And
Okay.
that's it.
All right, I walk over then and Shake Uriana.
Big sky, probably.
I'm sorry, Sky. Yeah, shake Sky and say it's your watch. And there's nothing really concerning. There's a smell from the west-northwest that's pretty pungent. And my mandolin has disappeared. But yes, maybe we can solve this better after daylight.
Sounds like a plan.
And I go back to my bed.
Okie doke. Sky, go and give me perception, and I'm assuming you want to do stealth as well. You're gonna do this stealthily. Okay, so you're quiet as all get out, but you're not really paying much attention.
I am keeping an eye out for the thief of a mandolin.
Gotcha.
Nothing else.
Gotcha. Well, again, you notice that the foul smell. It's pretty hard not to notice. And closer you get to the fire, the less oppressive it becomes. Yeah, it's a pretty quiet night. Not really a whole lot going on. Oh, the dwarves snore really bad, really loud. And that, yeah, your watch comes to an end uneventful.
I will go around and wake everybody up.
Okay. First thing that the 4 new party members comment about is the smell. Yeah, it's just pretty foul. And Latham, give me another perception check. Okay, doesn't look like Damba has moved at all since the night before. He's still laying there with his head propped up on his paws, watching you.
But he is watching me. He's not laying there unconscious.
Correct, he is watching. His eyes are following you very carefully.
Is there something I should be concerned about?
I don't know. Is this something you should be concerned about?
I don't know. I'll go over to the Damba and I ruffle his ears and I say, "What's wrong, buddy?"
Kind of, he starts to lift his head and then puts his head back down.
You think the axe meat affected him badly?
Give me a medicine check. Doesn't appear to be sick. Nobody else in the party seems to be sick in any way from the axe beak meat.
Um, do I notice the Lazum or the Dom is not moving really at all?
I imagine you would notice that Lazum is over, kind of checking out Damba. Yeah, that'd be probably pretty obvious.
Um, I'll head over and ask what's wrong and see if I can do anything to help.
Well, I don't know if there's anything wrong, but Damba seems really lethargic, and he's been watching me with his head on his paws for quite a while. But the one time he did start to get up, he only made it part way up and then put his head back down. So I don't think he's sick, but I don't know. There's something bothering him.
Uh, I'll head over to him and see if I can figure out if there's anything physically wrong with him.
Okay, you want to do another medicine check then? Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Again, there doesn't seem to be anything physically wrong with him. He doesn't seem to be sick in any way.
Um, then I'll try calling to him, see if he'll turn his head to me. Or he's just staring at Lazum.
He's watching Lazum, and he does turn his eyes to look at you as you approach, and he like lifts his legs and or his rear legs and his tail and stuff to you know basically let you inspect him. But he's just very determined to keep his head on his paws, and he's just watching Lazum. So he acknowledges you. He is eagle eye watching Lazum.
Um, I'll try and reach under his paws.
As you do that, he just starts licking your hand a lot.
I feel under the paws and see if there's anything there.
Give me a perception check.
Not rolling very well on checks.
Ooh. You don't notice anything.
Haven't rolled higher than a 6 on the dice all evening. Sorry, I rolled a 7 first one.
Ouch.
7, 6, 4, 1. Alright, I'll just leave him be then, and ask, like, did you just wake up when he was doing this?
I noticed it while I was making my rounds during my watch. And by the way, my mandolin's missing.
When did it go missing?
Sometime during the night, I put it off to the side when I went to sleep, and I don't remember whether it was there when I was awakened for my watch. But it's definitely gone now.
It was not there when you awoke for your watch.
Okay, so it's been gone most of the night then.
But, and I didn't notice anything with my check.
No?
Incidentally, is that stench in the same direction that it was earlier in the night?
Yes. The wind has... The breeze has tapered off, but on the occasion that you do get a bit of breeze, it does stink.
During your watch, did you go out and investigate?
Yeah, they're out that way. There was a skeleton or a zombie, some rotting and dead that had fallen down out there. That was out there.
So, what are you guys doing now?
I say we keep heading down toward the southwest corner of the island where we were headed.
Okay, I'll portion out some more of this axe beak meat and then wrap the rest of it in leaves and put it in my pack so that we can have it for another meal. And looks to be enough to feed it us at least one more time. And then I put out the fire and shovel dirt on it so it doesn't cause a blaze and spread. Then I take my portion of the axe beak meat and eat it and give some to Damba, who doesn't seem to want it.
Nope, he does not try to eat it. He just
Okay.
kind of looks at it and then looks back at you.
That's not good and kind of concerning.
Give me an insight check. Lazen. Very good. When you see this reaction to the food, you realize that it just kind of clicks in your head that, last time he was acting like this, he was feeling guilty about doing something.
I look at Damba and I say, well, you know, boy, you probably done something you'd think you shouldn't have done. So why don't you tell me what it is? Come on, let me know.
He kind of whimpers at you and lifts his head a little. And there, cradled between his paws, is your mandolin. Only 2 of the strings were broken.
Only 2? Well, that's good, I guess. I do have a couple of spare strings in my pack, so I'll be able to fix that. It's okay, Damba. I don't know why you were playing with it, but it's okay.
He whimpers and licks you. Licks your face.
Then I offer
Apologizing.
and I offer him the meat again.
He eats it and then continues to lick you.
Okay. Well, that's enough, boy. That's enough. You're forgiven. But don't do it again.
He puts his head back down.
I'll have to see if I can restring this tonight and tune it again. Right now, we've got to go. So I shoulder my pack and the mandolin on the back, and say, "Come on, Damba, let's go."
And he gets up, ready to go.
I kind of
And
wonder what he was doing with that instrument. That he managed to break it without me hearing it.
as the Elysium gets done up, I'll start leading the party. Mostly south, it looks like now.
Okay, go ahead and give me survival check.
See if I can actually make a good check.
So
I guess.
it's so much more fun when you don't. Well, sometimes.
Let's get a 1 and walk off of a cliff. Yeah, it's just right over this.
I haven't done anything like that to you guys. I don't think.
Not yet.
No, nothing yet.
I'm sorry?
Nothing bad has happened yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, yet.
Trying to get away from depending on combat as your only real interactions between traveling. Just trying to make sure you do more than just kill things, you know? Giving you guys lots of opportunity to RP, basically.
Yeah.
Ew?
I said kill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that's weird. I wasn't even touching my mouse.
That was me. I'm playing.
Oh, hold up. I wasn't even touching my mouse and I saw it peeing. Its sword is blue. Anyway, um, you guys start heading south. Um, as you make your way south, the smell does kind of, um, diminish, and before too long, it disappears. So, um, researchers kind of breathe a sigh of relief with that. Um, it's not too long, maybe an hour or two before you guys find yourself up against the cliff face on the east side. And you just continue following that south. And probably a little before, about lunchtime, about noonish. Noon, maybe 1 o'clock. You do you kind of start. You're kind of stepping over some rock, or which you take as rocks at first, and then you hear was it Bryn, the elven researcher, kind of gasp, and then she runs up in front of you guys and just kind of squeals with excitement, and drops her pack and says, "We're here." And she pulls out her notebook and starts moving around, looking at what you now notice to be ruined stone buildings.
I'm gonna spend a minute and use my primeval awareness.
Okie doke.
Try and see where that dragon is that was around here-ish somewhere.
Did I actually give you a location last time?
You said it was like to the south, right about, and wherever we were at, I want to say we were like right there-ish. You said it was right at the edge of my 5 miles. So it was like, 4 point question mark miles south of us.
Which on this map is not very big. Not very far. Um... Okay, you see that?
Yep.
That is about where you're seeing your blip. And that may or may not be 5 miles.
Okay. Then I will mention, is that approximately where it was before?
Pretty close.
Okay. Then I will mention that to the rest of them. That, doing my sensing of, I don't know what to call this, sensing of enemies, but sensing, my ranger sensing, to the northwest, is where the dragon is sitting.
The northwest there, and we're basically into the ruins now.
Yeah. You're like the north edge of the ruins.
We explore around the ruins here a bit, see if it seems like the dragon habitats it commonly.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
will help with that.
With advantage.
Hopefully I can roll a good number. Not bad.
Okay, you can see indications that there's some living creature or some creatures living here. Nothing as intelligent as a dragon, though, probably.
Okay. We'll turn to what was her name? Bryn and Aiden, and just say that this looks to be the ruins of the town, and it looks to be fairly dragon free.
Okay, Bryn is already off in her own little world, exploring, taking notes. But as you say that, Aiden kind of gives you a stiff nod and kind of slowly puts down his own gear, almost reluctantly, and pulls out his own notebook and starts making his own notes. He's not showing anywhere near the excitement or enthusiasm that Bryn is, but he's definitely going about his duty, I guess, his job, studying.
Just not super excited about it.
Yeah, you kind of get the impression that he's here for something else motivates his interest in coming, other than necessarily the
Like maybe Bryn?
entirely possible. He's less interested in the studying part of things as he is in the one doing the studying.
I turn to Sky and say, if you decide you want to go after this dragonoid, be sure you tell me so I can come and support you. And
In our past, we haven't had too much luck with the dragons. I'd prefer to stay away, but that dwarf over there seemed to really want to go last night, so we might end up going anyways.
yeah, well, that's fine. At least we get someone who wants to go and presumably has had the experience to do just that.
Sky, did you actually tell them where the dragon was? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. When you did that, the dwarf was very excited and was testing the edge of his axe for sharpness, and just kind of humming a little tune to himself.
Hope he's not dumb enough to go by himself.
Hopefully not.
Okay, after about an hour, you hear Bryn squeal again with delight. And she starts shouting to everyone that she found her grandfather's camp. And when you look over there, you can see that there's kind of a basically a tent. It's kind of like just like a tarp made from axbeak feathers and vines. I guess it's more of a blanket, I guess. That's stretched between 3 posts of one of the ruins. And it's basically turned into a little lean-to that's would keep the elements out. And she is just so excited about finding this place.
I'll kind of be following her and Aiden around as they're exploring, just, keeping them in sight, making sure we don't get too separated. And I'll ask if everything's just like her grandfather described it.
And she just nods her head and she just keeps pointing at things and saying, and he described that, and he described that, and he described that. And then she'll take a bunch of notes in her notebook and she'll look up and say, and he described that. And she's just, it's like a kid at Disneyland.
I'll listen to her and just say that it seems like it's basically the same as when he was here. How many years ago?
She stops and thinks about it, and she starts to say something, and then she stops. She just kind of looks around. As she realizes everything shouldn't still be intact. And she kind of, under her breath, she says, 250 years.
Alright, because she's an elf.
Yeah.
Isn't she like 50 years? That's not that bad. But no, that makes sense.
And she kind of looks around and, like the feather and vine blanket should not still be intact. And she's looking around and seeing all these things that she's pointed to and is pointing out. She's realizing that these things should not still be as he described them.
So is that an indication that there might possibly be other humanoids around?
Who are you saying that to?
Iriana.
Sorry, could you repeat it?
I just was wondering out loud if the fact that that she has decided that these things could not be still in decent shape because it's been too long, and yet they are. So, does that mean there was somebody else here who's kept them in decent repair?
I'll just kind of look around the ruins. Are they like? Is it overgrown, or does it seem like Lazim said, someone might have been taking care of them, or at least making sure they don't get more destroyed than they already are?
They don't look overgrown, but
They don't look overgrown.
no, they don't. Um, but it doesn't look like anyone's specifically taking care of them. It's
Okay.
not like the ground has been swept and they've pulled weeds here and there and or anything like that. It still looks um very much like ruins. It's just nature hasn't taken them back yet. Which
Uh,
is unusual.
can I see if there's something like magical stopping them from growing, or assist someone with seeing if there's anything magical?
Um, you are
I would
welcome.
probably check on the naturalness of it. I probably wouldn't be able to do the magical portion, but the nature side.
Okay. Well, Sky, why don't you give me a nature check, and Ariana give me either religion or arcana check. And Lazim can help one or the other, if he so desires.
Yes, I'll certainly help.
Okay, and then Rogar will help Sky, just because. Um, we'll do Sky's first. Sky, something does seem strange about the idea that um, plants have not retaken this village in 250 years. Um, this village should be like completely overgrown. Um,
In doing this search, I'm gonna try and pick a couple blades of grass, maybe some weeds, see what happens, see if it like disintegrates when I pick it, or if it even allows me to pick it.
yeah, you pick it and it seems normal in that sense. It's just you don't really have any real basis on why the ruins haven't been overgrown at this point. You just know that there's definitely something wrong with that. That shouldn't be that way.
Yep.
Ariana, um, with Lazim's help, the two of you determined that there's definitely something magical going on. Um, and it's more so something you guys have noticed basically since you got to the island. and it's just it's been there since you got to the island, but you're just now noticing it because you're looking for it. There's something magical about the island, and it's just something in the air is it's all encompassing, I should say. That's a good description. Yeah. Does that answer any questions, or just give you a whole bunch more questions?
I don't know if Iriona would be able to put it together, but it seems to me like the island is removed from time or something of that sort.
Okay, is that what you're saying to people, or?
Uh, no, that was just something that me, out of character, thought. Uh, I don't know if Iriona would put it together.
Give me an intelligence check. She hasn't quite put it together yet. Okay, so what are you guys doing then? I mean, they're off. See, Bryn and Aiden are off exploring and writing things in their notebooks. Biddle and Bean are sitting down with their backs against the wall of one of the ruins, just basically twiddling their thumbs, relaxing. What's the party doing?
Let's search and see if through the houses or huts or whatever, and see if there's something, some kind of a object or something from the town or a keepsake.
Well, I call out to Bryn and ask how her grandfather. He said he was shipwrecked here for 4 years. Did he just manage to flag down a ship at the end of it?
another ship stopped to drop off other passengers, and he managed to get their attention long enough to get them to take him away.
Was he the only one left of his party?
Yes.
I take it he did a pretty good did a pretty good search through everything here in the town since he was here for about 4 years.
Yeah, he had some pretty detailed maps. Unfortunately, I don't have them to show you. They were destroyed before I was old enough to make this voyage.
AKA White explaining why he didn't want to make 10 maps for nothing.
Yes.
I'm sure those would have been great to see. And with that, I'll just kind of leave her be and explore a bit of the ruins on my own. See if I can find anything interesting.
Okay, give me an investigation check. Sky, as you wander around, poking at what remains of these villages, you do see a number of broken pots and ceramics and things like that, a bunch of pottery. You do manage to find a few carved figurines. They're not the best in the world, but they're interesting. You find one that looks like a large owl, and it's got some black rocks. It just looks like plain old rock, not like a gem or anything. But some black rocks pushed in and adhered some way into its eyes, or as its eyes. And you find another one that looks kind of like a hunting cat, only it has 6 legs instead of 4. Your Honor, is there anything specific? Oh, well, 2.
No.
Yeah, you don't find anything particularly interesting. Actually, you end up running into Sky as he's doing his search, and you find those figurines very interesting.
Sure.
Is that basically what you're looking for, Sky?
Yeah, that'll work.
And I mean, when you look at these figurines, you can tell they're not anywhere near the quality to be magical or anything like that. But just somebody's attempt at whittling some of the creatures they've seen.
Other than that, I'll just spend the next bit of the day walking around, making sure that nothing too out of the ordinary is happening, and chatting with Bryn. I'm sure she's happy to talk a lot about everything that her grandfather saw.
Yes, she's talking up a storm. Okay, Latham, what do you do during this time?
Well, I'm walking around looking for things that look unique or maybe even, really outstandingly unusual. But I haven't found very much. I did kind of wonder that figurine that this guy found with the looks like a hunting cat, but it had 6 legs. Do you suppose we're going to find a 6-legged cat here? Or was that just, I don't know, an anomaly or something? But since we haven't seen a cat up close, I don't know any way we could prove or disprove that.
Anything is possible.
I think the only way to prove it would probably be to see it.
I agree. And, just thinking about it a little bit, I'm not really certain whether having 6 legs would speed it up or just make it able to climb better.
You know, uh, it's definitely a weird thing to have. And as I'll ask Bryn about some of the weird creatures like the 6-legged cat. Were they things that were these like little statuettes things your grandfather made, or were they here before he was here?
He did speak of some very strange creatures. He did mention a 6-legged cat, as well as those axe beaks that I'd never actually seen those before, but apparently they're real. Um, yeah, he has mentioned some here. He did mention some very strange creatures. Hopefully, not all of them were real.
Definitely hope that. How did he manage to survive for so long on the island? Was he able to hunt and catch some food?
Yes, he was an adept hunter. Um, very capable with the bow.
Did he mostly stay here inside the central part of the island, or did he spend a lot of time on the coastal area?
From the way he described things, I think he spent most of his time here within the chasm. Um, I'm not sure how, but he established some way of being able to see outside the chasm while being down here, so that he was able to look around for ships. But I'm not quite sure how he did that.
Interesting.
He was also pretty good with illusion magic, so it's possible he could have done something with that. But again, before he passed, I was not old enough to understand those things and ask him how.
Yeah.
I was just old enough to be excited about it.
Was there anything in particular about these ruins that was unique, or is it just like you said, it was an old village that got destroyed by a natural disaster?
Yes. According to the stories my grandfather told me, um, long ago before even he was here, this village was a thriving village, but it was destroyed by some sort of massive earthquake that basically caused this chasm to be. I mean, at one point, this chasm was all on the surface of the island, and with this earthquake, it pretty much leveled this village and sunk the inside of the island down here.
Sounds like a magical experiment gone wrong.
Yeah.
Perfect earthquake that dropped the center of the island without cracking into the sea, filling it with water.
She kind of looks at you and thinks for a moment. And starts writing something down. And then she stops, kind of looks up at you and says, if it was so perfect, maybe it wasn't an experiment gone wrong. Maybe it was just an experiment that went right.
Yeah.
She kind of raises her eyebrows at you, kind of halfway conspiratorially.
Experiment by whom?
She kind of shrugs and then goes back to writing stuff down.
And if everything is as it was, and the experiment was done correctly, is whom still here?
That also could be, what time are we really in?
She kind of looks up and thinks for a moment and smiles at both of you and says, "All very good questions," and goes back to writing.
How large are these ruins?
Um, Probably 3 or 4 miles square. Roughly. Probably good enough room for good 700-800 people to live comfortably.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't mean that's how many there were. It's just enough room for there to be, you know.
Yeah.
You said there were 2 temples here. Do you know who the temples were to? Or shrines, rather?
Um, I know there was one to one of the gods of death. I think the other one was to one of the goddesses of life, but I'm not sure on specifics.
Were they in this town here?
Yes, the shrines. I believe there's one on the south side of the village. And then she says, and the other one is, she kind of stops and starts looking around. And she kind of runs off towards the northwest about 30 feet. And she looks at the ground and kind of takes another few steps to the north. And she's in a kind of an outline of some fallen walls. And she kind of spins around, pointing at the wall. She says, "Right here."
Um, and this one, was this supposed to uh, be the one for the god or goddess of death or life?
Not sure. Do you follow her, Iriana?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. As you are following her, and she's telling you that she's not sure, you kind of step just inside the boundary of the walls, and you can just feel this knot form in your stomach.
Oh, definitely death. I will say.
She kind of looks at you a moment and says, "Okay."
I'll just kind of point to my shield.
She just kind of looks at your shield, nods, and smiles, and starts scribbling in her notebook.
I'll kind of walk around and kind of see if it's like, is there like there's a specific hard outline where it kind of goes from normal to not feeling very nice.
I'm sorry, can you ask that again?
I'll kind of walk around and see if there's like a sharp cutoff of where it, like feels normal outside, and then suddenly there's just like a square or rectangle of not feeling good.
Yeah, basically. The building is roughly 12 feet by 20 feet or so. And the closer you get to the north end of the building, the tighter the knot in your stomach gets.
Closer to the north end.
Yeah. And
Is there
basically anything within the collapsed walls, you just get this knot in your stomach. But the north end of the building is where the knot just kind of gets tighter and tighter.
yeah, and if I step like over the climb over the collapsed walls, does it kind of quickly disappear then?
Yeah, just kind of, it takes about a minute for it to fade, and then it's gone. You feel fine. But you can feel it start to release as soon as you step out.
Yeah. Well, then it doesn't start again until I we're sorry, until I step back in.
Correct.
Um, I kind of look at the north end, and is there anything? Is there like an altar or anything up there, or just it's basically an empty building?
Um, the majority of the wall is still there on the north end. Um, you can see basically some braces coming out of the wall that look like they would hold something crosswise over top of it. Kind of creating an altar basically. But whatever that crosswise surface is currently missing. But it's you can assume that there should be an altar there.
Okay. Um, are the floors in these buildings like covered in dirt?
Yeah, it's just raw dirt. Maybe some weeds sticking out of the corner or something.
Uh, can I try to sweep away some of that dirt? See if there's any carvings on the floor or anything
Sure,
in this building.
sure. Give me an investigation check.
I'm real good at those. Yeah, that's not bad.
Okay. It takes you a little while, and you're kind of getting pretty deep. You start to suspect that there's no floor left. Um, you do find a couple of crumbled pieces that they're not like on the floor, but they're within the dirt. Um, so it's like the floor was there at one point, but it's been, I don't know, pushed up or something. basically it's not a floor. Just it's not just a floor covered in dirt. It's like the floor is broken up and in the dirt. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, you find a number of pieces of it, and there are a number of etchings, engravings, I guess, um, in the um, on the surface of these broken tiles.
Am I able to read any of the etching?
Give me a second here. Okay. What languages do you speak, Ariana?
Common one. Common, Gnomish, Elvish, Dwarvish.
Okay. Okay. The majority of what you see is more symbols than text. Give me a quick religion check. Nice.
My first good roll.
Let's see if this works. Hey, it worked.
Confirm external link. I don't see anything.
Oh, damn.
In chat,
Roll it down.
this is Control N.
In chat, scroll down.
I see. I know why it didn't scroll down all the way.
It did the same thing to me. I was just like, evil DM. Little white bar. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And I scrolled it down.
And then when you click on the image, it doesn't actually bring you anywhere.
Okay, is everyone click on that?
Yeah.
Okay. That is the image you see. Um, you know that through your experience with religion in general, that is a symbol of Kellenvor, which, for the most part, is just about the only good god of evil, or sorry, good god of death that there is. I mean, he's not really good, but he is the
The least bad.
yeah. I mean, before he was a god, he was a mortal, described as a paladin with the noble, or I'm sorry, a mercenary with the noble heart of a paladin.
I'll just mused out loud that seems like this was, at least at one point, a shrine to Kellenvor. What do I know about Kellenvor?
Just about
He
everything.
he didn't like undead, did he?
No, he did not. He detested undead.
And yet there's undead on the island here. Would I don't know if we've seen any uh, shrines or temples to Kellenvor in Havenport or anywhere else. Or just
Not specifically.
I would I guess when we were in Nursing, did the evil? I guess they weren't. Are they evil? The temple up in Nursing. When we went in there, did it make me feel this way?
Yes.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, that was dedicated to Leviatar.
Yeah.
Leviator, I guess. Which is another evil god. That somehow ended up in my search as well for death deities. Don't really consider her a death deity. She's the deity of pain, but basically pain and torture. But for some reason she came up in my death domain search, so.
Yeah. Um, so the feeling might just be because it's a god of uh, anti-life, basically.
Basically, you get a similar feeling if you um, enter death domains of death deities or specifically evil deities. Either one would give you the same feeling.
But yeah, so I'll have said that it seems like it was at one point trying to Kellenvor. And I'll hand the piece of flooring or whatever stone that has the symbol on it over to Bryn.
And she takes it and kind of carefully carries it over to her bag. She pulls out a cloth and wraps it up and then tucks it carefully into her bag.
And it is about 10 o'clock, so I will need to take off.
Oh. Oh, okay. I guess we'll call it there for the day. I was thinking we had another hour left for some reason.
No, not quite.
Okay. Then I guess we'll go ahead and call it a day. Or a session. Pick it up next week.
Yeah. It's next week, 15th. Halfway through October already. Oh, we'll be next week.
No joke. It's crazy. So, are you guys enjoying your exploration of the Isle of Presper?
Definitely.
I am, yeah.
Good.
Trying to figure out what we're actually doing here.
Well, you're looking for a temple to God of Death. I believe is what you guys decided to do, right?
That's what we're doing, but we're and trying to figure out what we're doing specifically here with them
Oh, gotcha.
and the time and the dragon and the quote unquote earthquake and the dot dot dot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been interesting.
Yeah, it has.
Okay, so I guess talk with y'all next week because we don't have a game tomorrow, right, Sky? Okay. Then we'll pick it up next week. Talk to you guys later.
See ya.
Sorry.